Hello, everyone. My name is Emily, and today I'm here to share something that can completely change the way you learn English. Stay with me till the end, because what I'm about to tell you might just be the key you've been looking for. 2 years ago, I couldn't speak English. I was scared, shy, and nervous every time someone talked to me. My words would freeze, and I felt so small. I remember one day I was at a store, and a lady asked me something simple. Do you need help? My heart raced, my face turned red, and all I could do was smile awkwardly. That day I decided, I have to change this. I have to learn English. Why? Because English is everywhere. It's the language of dreams, jobs, friends, and even love. If you know English, doors open for you. But if you don't, life feels like a big locked door and you're stuck outside. Now here's the moment you've been waiting for. My secret. It's not about books or grammar or even going to school. It's about something that lives inside you. Are you curious? Are you excited? Good. I'll tell you. But first, let me share a little story that changed everything for me. It was a quiet evening, and I was sitting alone in my small apartment. The world outside felt so big, and I felt so small. Then I heard it, a soft, beautiful voice coming from my phone. It was a story, a simple English story. The words were slow, clear, and full of feeling. I didn't understand everything, but something inside me woke up. I listened to that story again and again. I copied the words. I whispered them. I laughed when the story was funny, and I cried when it was sad. That's when I realized something. To learn English, you don't have to study it. You have to feel it. You have to live it. Every day after that, I made a promise to myself. One story, one day. I didn't care if I made mistakes. I didn't care if people laughed at me. My goal was simple. Feel the words, speak the words, and live the words. The story that changed my life was called The Little Red Bird. It was a simple tale about a tiny bird that wanted to fly higher than the tallest tree. But the bird was afraid. It didn't believe it could do it. Everyone told the bird, "You're too small. You'll never reach the top." But one day, the little bird decided to try. The first time I heard it, I didn't fully understand all the words. But the feelings in the story, the bird's fear, its determination, and its courage, spoke to my heart. Every word felt alive. I repeated the sentences, even if they weren't perfect. The little bird looked at the sky. I would say it out loud. It took a deep breath and flapped its wings. I flapped my arms like a bird, laughing to myself. I became that little bird. I wasn't just learning English, I was living it. Day by day, I listened to more stories. I found short, simple ones that I could follow easily. I didn't worry about grammar. I didn't worry about my accent. I focused on the feelings. I let myself get lost in the stories, and something magical happened. I started to understand more and more. One evening, I was walking in the park and a little girl came up to me. She had dropped her ball and couldn't reach it. She said, "Can you help me?" I froze for a moment, just like I used to. But then I remembered the little red bird. I thought, if that bird can fly high, I can speak. I smiled and said, "Of course. Here's your ball." Her face lit up and she said, "Thank you." It was such a small moment, but for me, it was huge. I felt like I had taken my first flight. From that day on, I kept practicing, one small step at a time. I listened to English songs, watched movies with subtitles, and most importantly, I kept listening to stories. Every story was a new adventure, a new lesson, and a new chance to grow. And do you know what the best part is? Learning English this way doesn't feel like work. It feels like fun. It feels like life. But here's the thing. You don't have to wait for the perfect moment to start. The perfect moment is now. Right now. Pick a story, any story. It doesn't matter if it's short or long, easy or hard. Just start. Let me ask you, what's your favorite story? Comment below and tell me. Maybe your favorite story will inspire someone else. And if you want, I can recommend some simple stories to help you on your journey. The journey to learning English is like the journey of the little red bird. You don't have to fly high on your first try. You just have to take that first step, that first flap of your wings. The little red bird became my symbol of hope. Every time I doubted myself, I would close my eyes and imagine that bird flapping its tiny wings, rising higher and higher. That image gave me strength. But learning English wasn't always easy. There were days when I felt frustrated. I would hear people speak so fluently, and I'd wonder, will I ever be like them? I remember one particular day when I tried to speak with someone and they didn't understand me. Their confused look made me feel so small. I went home that night and cried. But then I thought about the bird again. The story said the little bird fell many times before it learned to fly. That line stayed in my mind. I realized that falling wasn't failure. It was part of the journey. So I wiped my tears and decided to try again the next day. The next morning, I did something brave. I went to a local cafe, ordered a coffee, and forced myself to say a few sentences in English to the barista. It was scary, and I made mistakes, but guess what? The barista smiled and understood me. That small success felt like winning a gold medal. As time went on, I started to enjoy my mistakes. Yes, enjoy them. Every time I made a mistake, I would laugh and learn from it. I realized that mistakes aren't bad. They're proof that you're trying. One evening, something amazing happened. I was at a park again, sitting on a bench, reading a short English story aloud to myself. A woman sitting nearby heard me and said, "That's a nice story. Where did you learn it?" For a moment, I panicked. She was a native English speaker. Would she laugh at me? But then I remembered the little red bird. I took a deep breath and replied, "I am learning English. I like stories." To my surprise, she smiled and said, "You're doing great. Keep going." Her kind words felt like a warm hug. They gave me confidence. After that, I started talking to more people, even strangers. I realized that most people are kind and patient. They don't care if your English isn't perfect. They just appreciate that you're trying. And then something beautiful happened. One day, I was walking past a group of children playing in a park. One of them came up to me and said, "Can you tell us a story?" I smiled and said, "Of course." I sat down with them and told them the story of the little red bird. They listened with wide eyes, completely captivated. When I finished, one of the children said, "I want to be like that bird." In that moment, I realized something important. Learning English isn't just about words or grammar. It's about connecting with people. It's about sharing your heart. And now, I want to ask you something. What's stopping you from taking that first step? If a little bird can rise above the tallest trees, and if I can go from being too shy to talk to telling stories in English, then you can too.